in here the one and only Ashwin Krishna Swami, partner at Forge Design. He is every favorite marketer's favorite brand expert. He is star of stage and screen, always coming to an iPhone near you. We must bring him in here and talk to him about what he is doing on the interwebs today. Ashwin, get inside this show.
Let's go.
Get in here, Ashwin.
Let's go.
Well, unmatched. Where's my cowboy hat? I feel like I can't be on here without a hat.
You know, we will send one to you, Ashwin. It's only
I need one. Custom branded Ecomm Cowboy. Need a little mascot on the top of it. But exactly. I'm matching the vibe a little bit here. I got Western bandana.
And with Oklahoma Smokes and all that you have done over there, we know we consider you. We consider you to be very much an Ecomm Cowboy, Ashwin. We're
kindred spirits. That's right.
We're kindred spirits, man. We appreciate you joining us and making the time, brother. You know, this is not a political show, Ashwin, but I have to say, I was blown away to find out that you guys at Forge were behind the branding and campaign for Zoran, who is New York City's new mayor. Brother, can you shed a little light? I mean, I know this is probably not the normal clientele that you guys normally work with, but incredibly, beautifully well done. I mean, I feel like this was a marketing masterclass. Can you just open the kimono a little bit and tell us about this whole experience, Ashwin?
Yeah, I'll say a couple of important things, and I'll kind of pull back some of the mystery or allure.
Yeah.
Right? How does a small agency get a big contract like this? And really, all of this was done by my two partners, Anish and Phil at Forge. You know, they were kind of like the spearheads behind the entire thing. And so we're based out in New York City, and my partner Anish was pretty politically involved, right? He was in Queens DSA back in 2019, 2020. And back then, he became pretty friendly with Zoran, who was also in Queens DSA. He was running as an assembly member back then. And so, 2019, 2020, Anish just did some work, like friend to friend. Hey, you're running for assemblyman. Let me design your palm cards and stuff. So they built a pretty good relationship. And then when it came time to Zoran, announcing that he's going to run for mayor, he basically hit up Anish and he was like, hey, listen, we're going to put out formal requests for this stuff, but I've loved the work that we've done together in the past. I like the way that you think about this type of stuff. I want to do something very bold, unique, etc. And so that was kind of it. That was kind of like the origin story of this.
Wow.
Now, what I think is really important about that campaign, right? We come from the world of CPG kind of branding and design. We're, really working in the space like D2C e-commerce. And so much of that work is, how do you get people to understand a thing quickly, stop and pay attention, and stand out relative to your competitors, right?
For sure.
Everything is winning and dying on the shelf, whether that's the digital shelf of Amazon or the retail shelf of Whole Foods. And so everything, design is just an expression of what the strategy is to actually stand out. Oh. And so you can take that kind of design thinking and apply it to any other category. And that's where I think you can actually do some really interesting work. So you take that into the world of politics, and it's like, all right, what is everyone else saying on the left and right? What are their traditional colors? What are their traditional tropes? Okay, they're speaking like this. Okay, cool. We're going to do the opposite of that. Instead of saying we seek to generate economic surplus for all citizens of fucking New York City, it's like, we're just going to give you fast and free buses. It's like, we're going to simplify messages into things that people remember. And so, again, Anish did a phenomenal job with a lot of that messaging, the entire kind of brand identity work. And when I say it was one person, it was one person concepted the entire brand identity.
Wow.
Other designers executing on certain posters. But if you look at kind of 98% of the visual work that came out of that was Anish. And then my other partner, Phil, did all the digital work, right? The front end and a lot of the back end architecture for Canvas and stuff. So that was pretty cool. And they actually work for Zoran in the New York City administration now, kind of doing brand and design there. Yeah.
Crazy.
So, pretty cool.
Wow.
That is a wild meeting of convergence of worlds there, Ashwin. And I mean, to me, it seems like maybe there's a little more credence now to everyone everywhere dipping their toes a little bit more and dipping some of the strategy and talent that we've all been seeing in the CPG and D2C and e-com world. Maybe there is some broadening of the horizons there. That makes all the sense in the world to me.
I think I always say this, that like CPG is a brutally hard business to go build it, right? Because you need to be really good on the product front. You need to be good on the operations front. You need to be good on the finances front. You need to be like ruthless on the marketing front. And you're operating with these kind of like thin margins, right? There's not a lot of like to be really good at stuff. So you find that most of the innovation in terms of like marketing and customer acquisition is like from kind of CPG operators, right? They're getting outsized attention. You know, if you think about clipping strategies now, there was a company called Tabs. They make like sex chocolates, right?
There's exactly.
Who ran that. And in 2020, he kind of like started with the strategy of hiring 1,000 different creators, having them all have their dedicated TikTok accounts, generating 30, 40, 50 videos a day, right? And now it's become like almost a mainstream strategy that like people in TV are using, people in music are using. But you have to find these kind of like clever hacks and ways to get attention that you kind of sharpen your skills, where if you go into the world of B2B and politics, it's like, they don't like think like that. The marketers there don't. Especially if they've been in that space for a long time. So I actually think there's a lot of opportunity for talent to go to these other spaces and like yield outsized results.
It's a great point.
That's incredible. I love the idea of a politician potentially just like doing a clipping strategy of like 1,000 people and just rock and rolling with it. I would love for you to talk about.
I think we're going to see that, especially with some of these younger guys. There's James Fishback down in Florida. You know, there's Jack Schlossberg, you know, running kind of like his social media stuff. And I think like the younger guys and girls like understand it. They understand how like social is moving. The game. We're going to tap into all of this stuff.
That's interesting. Well, I mean, jumping off of that, like in that same vein of creators, you had a very interesting take very recently about VCs hiring creators. I would love for you to dive into this take and kind of explain your stance on it and what you think this means for kind of the quote unquote standard VC guy.
I was having a conversation with my brother-in-law a few months ago, who is a partner at a fund called Health Velocity Capital. They invest in health tech companies, and they have a really, really good niche and kind of a reputation in that space. And they've, you know, made some great investments. And they've recently been doing some of this like brand positioning work, you know, how they present themselves in the marketplace. And they were talking to a founder in a deal that they were trying to get into, who ultimately ended up working with them. And they were kind of doing this postmortem, like, hey, why did you potentially not go with us? Why did you potentially go with these other guys? And the founder was basically saying like, dude, you guys, I feel like, are the best kept secret in the world of healthcare VC. Like, you have this amazing track record, you have this amazing network and reputation, but no one knows it. And my brother-in-law is like, dude, that's a fucking disaster. Like, that's a problem.
It's terrible.
You know, it's like, we need to solve that. And so a handful of months ago, we were having this conversation, and he was kind of talking about a couple of very niche creators in the health tech, like healthcare vertical space, both on LinkedIn and Twitter. And he's like, hey, what do you think about like engaging one of these guys? Like, is it sponsored posts that we do with them? Do we bring them on as like an EIR? Like, where does the juice become worth it for them, right? Like, short of making them a partner at our fund, it seems like they already have their own media business. And so we're kind of like talking about this idea, and he's like, yeah, it's this conversation that we're all having in the world of VC, right? Most VCs go out there and they're like, we're just going to start our own podcast and like do the 20 VC model. The 20 VC model, like, Harry is a good interviewer, and he started that 12 years ago, right? So he's already built up like this audience. No one wants to listen to the 97th VC podcast from like two like 29-year-old guys who just raised a fund. You know, it's like, okay, that's not that interesting. So now VCs are like, okay, well, we have the capital, but we need more people to understand that we exist, right? Deals are competitive. So how are we going to increase our aperture for deal flow? And how are we going to say like, hey, my dollar is better than Colin's dollar? Right? Because if we're coming to you, it's just like, well, these are just both two guys who both have like, you know, equivalent size funds.
Big bag.
What else can they provide? Unless they built my exact business and like have an immense amount of like operational insight, I don't fully trust why one is better than the other. So I think there is this angle. Someone commented on one of my videos, like, there's this angle of, audience and deal flow that they're buying, but there's also this kind of like cultural capital where it's like, yeah, we might not be Andreessen Horowitz, but like we got these three faces and you see these three faces like on the internet all the time. Oh, okay. Like they're cool. My friends knows those guys. So there's a little bit of that happening too. But it's like, it's also just one subset of this whole kind of new media conversation, right? That every industry, every vertical, every company is having, right? Everyone wants to figure out, how do we win on short form? How do we get outsized attention? How do we go direct to like the type of consumer audience that we're trying to attract? And we're just seeing it play out in venture. We're going to see it play out in PE and kind of across the board.
If your growth is plateauing on search and social, it's time to rethink TV. Universal Ads makes it simple for D2C brands to run TV campaigns designed for performance without the usual mystery of getting involved with television. You get both premium streaming and linear inventory all in the same place, okay? You're reaching net new target audiences outside of the same crowded social feeds. We're all spending our dollars today. There's no hidden markups or fees. Campaign setup and management. It's just like search and social. You get running minutes. TV that's designed, that delivers for performance marketers. Go to universalads.com. Use code UA Cowboy. You can get $1,500 in matched ad credits. Many thanks for Universal Ads being part of the show. Your buyer data already knows what ad you need to make next. You just can't read it yet. Most brands and marketers brief from instinct. Okay, what's our best performing ad? Let's change a little bit. Proxima changes the input here. Read your conversions against real shoppers across 2,000 plus e-commerce brands. Shows you exactly who's buying, what else they respond to, and where your account has gaps. You just wire up Meta, wire up Shopify. Proxima begins to map every conversion back to a real buyer segment inside the commerce graph. And no longer are you briefing from a blank page. You get a feed of creative briefs. First 3 briefs are going to be free for you every single month. Go to proxima.ai. Stop the slop. Many thanks for Proxima being part of the show. It's such an interesting phenomenon to me, because this is like largely categoried in like, this is like big boy money. It's like blue blood money, in my mind. I have always wondered about this, or I've wondered about this for the past 2 or 3 years, about this same kind of thing at a lower kind of nitty gritty D2C type level, especially for brands who, some people really crack creators, others don't. It's frustrating. Oh, it's so much money, all of the things. And I have always wondered, and I really wanted to do this when we were at Bruce Bolt, when we were growing that baseball company, about bringing a young up-and-coming creator in-house, allowing them to keep everything that they're doing outside of that, but bringing them in-house, giving them a steady paycheck, and allowing them to both build your brand and their brand by getting them in early and really, in some ways, making your brand the influencer. I think that idea connects with a lot of founders. But do you think there's credence to this, to bringing creators, especially on the up-and-coming, inside of D2C brands and natively pushing content that way?
Yeah, I think the answer is yes and no. Yes, from a standpoint of, there are instances where it's done really well. Like there is this one creator, I think her name is Olivia, and she works with this brand called Opal, which is like a time blocking app for your phone.
Yeah.
And she was hired by this company and built a really good TikTok presence where she makes content about like how to reclaim your mind, right? And she has this traditional format, like whiteboard in the back. She'll be like, here are 3 tips to like reclaim your brain from doom scrolling. Like super relevant, etc. And then in the video, she's never like, and that's why you should go download Opal, right? It's just Opal sits as a link in the bio. She draws all these views and impressions, and then you have this kind of trickle in. I think that's an example of one where it works really well. I think there's kind of this tension where if you have a creator who has built enough of an audience and is getting enough in terms of like deal flow, partnerships, it's like really hard to make the economics work for a company to come in and be like, we'll pay 5, 10, 15, 20. It's just like, well, if I'm partnering with AG1, they're willing to like pay XYZ plus usage. And like, I don't have to worry about like being a growth engine for their business.
Right.
So I think that's a little bit of a tension. You almost have to find a creator who's like on the come up, or find someone who has the bones for it, put them through like training, and then like really build them in-house as an employee. But we also see now how things are shifting with just like clipping and like multi-creator strategies and like just getting more shots on goal. So yes and no.
That makes a ton of sense. I think it only works if you dig somebody up and train them up, because otherwise the economics just don't make sense. Just don't.
Yeah.
And speaking of brands, could you talk a little bit about what is going on with Oklahoma Smokes? I was following it
We
very
love
intently,
this.
and I
Yeah.
thought it was the coolest idea in the entire
did.
world because I was like, "This is amazing.
It's
What is
true.
going on with it?"
Yeah. So we are, let's see. So I'll kind of give you like some backstory too, and then I'll
Please.
where we are today. So so I started this agency in 2018, Forge. And in 2019 was probably when we first started working in like the world of CPG and D2C, right? And so we helped launch this company called Birth Date Candles. They make Zodiac candles, like a candle for every day of the year. That business, like, took off like a rocket ship after the first year. And the founder of that business was very plugged into the D2C space. So he made a bunch of intros to us, and like, we're just kind of off to the races in that space. So basically our specialty was going from like idea to launch, right? Brand strategy, packaging design, setting up a storefront, and kind of like initial kind of like content go to market. When you go through that process a number of times, you just develop the skill set and the kind of like, okay, I see what works. I see what doesn't work. I kind of like have parameters in my head of a type of business that we should launch. So I always had in my mind, like, okay, I want to launch something else. And then one of my buddies from college who runs a venture fund that invests in cannabis and cannabis adjacent technology came to me, and this was probably late 2019. And he was just like, hey, I think there's this opportunity in like CBD form factors and exploring them. And there was like some early data that CBD usage could reduce nicotine cravings, like up to 50%. So we're like, okay, that's kind of interesting. All of the products on the market at the time were CBD like spliffs, like actual joints that were going for a marijuana kind of like consumer, like marijuana alternate consumer.
Yeah.
Our thought was, hey, what if you put this in a cigarette form factor and then go after the nicotine consumer, right? And say like one-to-one kind of like replacement alternative for cigarette smokers. So we, I kind of like did all the branding. I worked with this great illustrator, did all the branding, set up the storefront, and we kind of go launch. And we launched, when was it? Late 2020, maybe 2021. And we launched, and we're just like, okay, cool. We'll like post some stuff on Instagram. But we didn't really think about the paid acquisition side. We didn't think about like the acquisition side of this, like, much, right? You kind of like learn trial by fire. And we're like, okay, we can't run Facebook ads. Seems like everyone's running Facebook ads. Can't run Facebook ads. It's CBD. It's a combustible. We're also selling it like a $13 price point. So TikTok was kind of taking off at the time. So I got on TikTok one day. I made like one TikTok video, and we did like $10,000 in sales off of that TikTok.
Wild.
This was 2021, and like TikTok's giving out views like crazy, right? Our first 40 videos all had like over 1 million views, right? So every day I'm in there, I'm just like making TikTok videos, and I'm like, hey, cigarette, it's made with CBD, it's addictive free. It's the same video I'm making almost every day, different sounds and stuff. So TikTok basically became this acquisition engine for us. And we're like, okay, this is the channel, and we're just gonna like kind of grow through organic here. So again, I'm running my agency at this time. My partner is running his venture fund. We're both just kind of like doing this part-time. I'm just like making TikToks. And we're kind of like, we're growing. We probably get to like months where we're doing like 75K to 100K. Awesome. It's profitable. Each of us put in like $4,500 into the business, and we're like, okay, this is like cool. We have, we're both in New York City. We have someone helping us out on the fulfillment side. We have someone helping us out on the CX side. It was so we basically figured out an organic channel, but an organic channel is tough because your customers come in as a virtue of like your ability to make content that gets widely distributed, right? So it's kind of like hard to predict month over month, like where's the growth going to come from? Are we going to have viral bangers? We hired a bunch of creators. We did the tab strategy. We incentivized our existing creators to make content, like gave them cash rewards for like creating stuff. And, it kind of like, probably a year after this, I started making content too on like the personal, based on just like stuff I'm learning, stuff I'm doing with my clients. And so then it kind of became like even more of a backseat, but it was always just kind of like growing and like somewhat steady state of a business. And then last year we really looked at the business and we're like, okay, here's where the business is from like a top line standpoint. It's profitable. We have this like one SKU. there isn't an incredible amount of retention here, because like here's like ultimately like the insight that we found, right? We're positioning to cigarette smokers, and cigarette smokers, they have a pain where they want to quit, right? It's like 75% of them like want to quit. They're smoking pack a day, half pack a day. They want to quit, so they're interested in trying the product. They try the product. It works for the hand-to-mouth like habit and oral fixation, but they're like, there is such a disconnect between the taste of tobacco and nicotine and the taste of CBD, as well as the aroma of CBD.
Makes sense.
So they're like, it's not a product that I can retain or replace one-to-one. If anything, it makes me want to go back to just smoking a tobacco cigarette now. So we're like, okay, that audience that's like a non-starter audience to like basically build off of, right? Is kind of like one insight there. Then you have these other audiences, which are like social smokers or casual smokers.
Yeah.
Okay, they're great, but oftentimes they're, maybe they'll buy like a pack that keeps them for like 2 or 3 months.
Yeah.
Or they are more of an impulsive purchaser, right? Where it's like, hey, I want to buy it night of when I'm out drinking. I'm like in the Lower East Side. Like I want to find it at my convenience store.
That's it. Yeah.
So it's, and I'm giving you this kind of like whole kind of arc of this. So we kind of like looked at the business and we're like, hey, to really grow this, I think it's either you expand into different SKUs and like you kind of build a different business here. You get into retail, and we kind of tested our feet in the water with retail. I think we'd have to finance the business differently and like would have to raise some capital and really be more thoughtful and intelligent about it. Or just kind of like keep it as a D2C business. And at this time, both of us like had other things that were like working quite well. And, you have to just like look. There was this element of us where we're like, oh, it's such a cool brand and such a cool product. And like, we loved building it, but it's like, that's not a good reason to just like keep doing it. It's like, it's a matter of opportunity cost and so on. So we found some partners who are interested in taking it into retail, expanding into SKUs. They are now kind of like working on that side of the business.
Awesome.
So we don't have like our e-commerce isn't up right now. They've kind of like put that on pause. So we'll see what the future holds for Oklahoma Smokes.
That's insightful, and I totally agree with you about that usage and those different categories of smokers, and I totally agree with you on that. And this one line has stuck with me ever since I visited this website. Something like "kick the habit, keep the ritual," something like that, right? Is that that line? That was a
great
banger.
copy.
That was a bar.
Great
that
copy.
stuck with me.
I prided myself on all of that copy. We got let me see. I got these things. We made
there we go.
Oklahoma Smokes for tobacco quitting folks. We had some real one-liners with there, and
that's awesome.
Love the brand. We've got our Oklahoma Smokes bandana over here.
Very fitting.
Yeah.
Well, man, we appreciate you. We appreciate you making the time to join us, brother. We know that you've got to run, but we look forward to having you back. Keep crushing, and we'll keep watching and implementing everything that you talk about, man. We appreciate you.
Thank you, fellas. Loved it.
Seguno is the only marketing suite that lives entirely inside of Shopify. What's that mean, Chris? Your emails, your pop-ups, your banners, your reviews, it's all there where you already work and play every day. And it means that you don't have to seed your trust to big email. That's over-attributed data. With Seguno, your Shopify data is the email data. It's a big reason why they won the 2024 Shopify Build App of the Year. One-click automations, actual humans that can help you build for lean teams with big aspirations. Go get the advanced Shopify segmentation playbook at the URL scrolling across the screen. Get a free trial of the platform. Tell them Colin I sent you. It will extend that free trial to 30 days. Many thanks for Seguno being part of this show. Your affiliate program, it looks fine on paper. Commissions going out, sales coming in, but the industry is built on last click attribution. It's an oversimplification of affiliates as a channel. Sati is the first affiliate platform built on multi-touch attribution, cookieless, Shopify native, services who introduced your customer, who nurtured them along the way, and who closed the sale. So you're no longer just looking at a flat list of commission payouts. You have a map of how your affiliate channel moves people through the buying decision. Go to mysati.io/champion/ecom-cowboy. Get 20% off your plan. Many thanks for Sati being part of the show. We need to welcome Byrong Young, founder and CEO of Corduroys, the convertible beanbag two-bed brand in Gainesville, Florida. Get in here, Byron.
Let's go.
Get in here, brother.
Let's go.
There he is.
What's going on, man?
Byron.
Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, we can hear you great, brother.
Amazing.
We appreciate you making the time.
Do I sound amazing?
You sound amazing.
Okay,
sound
good,
amazing,
good,
and
good.
you look even better,
Oh,
Byron.
man. Well, I got a lot of makeup on today. I did
Not you. Not those Florida men. I know. Florida man.
No, for sure. I
Man,
brought a prop too. You ready for this?
yeah, let's see
Let's
it.
see it.
Screen grab. These scissors made me a millionaire.
Whoa!
Let's go.
Whoa! I mean, we got to hear the story of that, Byron. How
Yeah,
did
let's talk
those
about
scissors make you a millionaire, man?
Yeah, remember I told you the other day when we were chatting that I was going to start doing some more advertising with my ugly mug on the screen.
That's right. That's
Sure.
right.
So these scissors right here are solely responsible for the beanbag that converts to a bed, which is where we made all of our money, really, to tell you that's why I got on Shark Tank. It's why everything happened. And the quick story is that I was too dumb to realize that there was something called a rotary cutter for fabric.
There it is.
So I ordered this pair of scissors and started cutting all the fabric. I was cutting in my garage. My forearm was the size of Popeye.
I bet.
And one day I said, well, wait a minute. What if I just made the inside a square and I zip across the fabric like you do with wrapping paper, you know?
Yeah.
So I made a big square. I stuffed it inside there and I made it oversized so you couldn't tell that there was a square inside of a circle. And then one day we had some friends over. We were all drinking and partying. And as I was stumbling down the hallway, they were going to sleep on the couch. And I said, hey, there's a big square thing inside that beanbag if you want to sleep on it. And that was the next morning they were raving about it. And my redneck ass was like, that ain't no bed. What are you talking about? And so it took me years to actually get behind it. It actually, I don't know that I got behind it as much as customers got behind it and started demanding it. And I came around to it and I changed it to make it the same size as a mattress and things like that. But yeah, those scissors and laziness are responsible for everything good in my whole life.
Wow, you got to frame those.
That is an incredible story, Byron. I mean, it's true, like innovation. I mean, you're in there and I got to figure this thing out, put a square inside it, and it landed you on Shark Tank.
Yeah, it sure did, man. We I don't know how many years ago that's been now, but it's like you said, season 4. And the funny thing about season 4 is that, nowadays everybody knows everything about Shark Tank. There's groups about it and things. Yeah. We didn't know shit back in season 4. I was terrible. All I know is I'm going to California to talk to some TV people and sell my business, which, in my mind, I was already rich, even though I didn't have any money. I was doing fine. And here I am in California talking about selling my business. I was terrified.
That is terrifying.
Needless to say, it went well.
Well, go ahead, Colin.
I was just going to say, could you talk to us a little bit about that experience? Because it sounds terrifying to get in front of 5 people, pitch your product live. I mean, just knowing me, I would be, you go up, open the pits, and I'm just sweating from, the whole bottom is just, I'm covered in sweat. Oh, did we lose him?
I'm here. I don't know what's going on.
Back.
We got you.
He's back. Could you talk to us a little bit about that experience?
So, it's funny that you mentioned that because we were in the, you're in these big studios, and we were in, let's call it a green room. It's actually just a room made out of fabric.
Okay.
And we're waiting to go on, and my shirt, my pits were so drenched, and I also realized that I had like a deodorant. You know how deodorant gets on your shirt sometimes?
Yeah, of course.
I wasn't looking very good, trust me. And there was nothing to wipe the damn thing off with. True story. My wife breaks out in a tampon. I'm not kidding. It was the only thing we could find to try to get that shit off my shirt. And then right before they called me, they called my name, and I go, this was exactly what happened. I go, you know what? Fuck it. I'm a fucking guy, and I fucking sweat.
Let's go.
Let's go. That's
hilarious.
And so I went out there with my sweaty pits, and I mean, I was terrified. I really, really thought I was dying up even a month before the show. Even when they would call me, I'd be nervous. And then when I got out there, the producer called me the day before, and she goes, how you doing? And I said, not good at all. Not good. I think I'm going to have a heart attack. I'm not doing good at all.
Now, Byron,
it's terrifying.
I heard because you gave me a little window on this. I heard, of course, you got the deal. You got the deal with Lori. But I heard that afterward, like you didn't even call her. I mean, what's the story?
So here's the deal. So back in season 4, nobody knew anything. Everything was very real. They kept it very secret. And but when we did you do a pre-pitch. So the day before, you kind of go through the motions. And there's a guy named Clay Newbill. You can look him up. He's like Mark Burnett's head dude. He's super important in whatever he does. And so I'm doing my pre-pitch, and I had my business valued. I think it was at $4 million.
Yeah,
it was a legit valuation. I felt like, and he stopped me and says, he starts talking about my valuation, and I said, well, shit, man, what do you want? What do you want me to do? It is what it is. And he did something that really got me. He said, it is what it is. And he stopped. He didn't argue with me. And I went home or back to the hotel with my wife, and I wouldn't let it go. I was like, I like that guy. That guy's I would hang out with that dude. What's he trying to tell me? He's trying to tell me something that he can't tell me. And we went to Target. We came back. We laid down in the bed, I'm just trying to relax. And it was like a movie. I just sat straight up, and I was like, I figured it out. And my wife's dead asleep. She goes, you figured what out? I said, I figured it out. I said, the deals aren't real. Well, I was wrong about that. The deals are real.
Okay.
In my mind, I was thinking, okay, I don't really know the definition of duress, but I got to be under it right now, the way I feel. And there's no way I can make a multi-million-dollar deal on TV in 15 minutes. And so she says, well, what does that mean? I said, that means I'm devaluing the business to $1 million. And I'm not leaving that room without a deal, because Clay did tell me, he said, the audience is rooting for you. And if you get a deal, your website will go crazy. And that's all I heard. I was done. I'll sell that sumbitch for a penny. I don't give a shit. I'm not leaving that room. So yeah, I go in there, and I'm thinking, I'm just going to, and of course I called my business partner at the time, and everybody affiliated with this thing, and they're losing their minds. Like, no. I said, don't worry about it. It'll be fine. So I go in there, and I get the deal. It's the worst deal in Shark Tank history, I'm pretty sure. And I got the deal thinking that I never knew it was going to be such a bad deal. I was making money. I thought there was going to be some pretty big deals to choose from, right? And
yeah.
Just Lori left, and I'm like, oh shit, I got to get this deal. And so, I did it, and everybody made a big deal about it and everything. And then fast forward, I never called her. I threw the number on my desk, and all my friends were asking for the number and stuff. And here I am looking at it every day going, maybe I'll call her tomorrow. And, I could tell that story and make myself seem really cool. But honestly, the reason I wasn't calling her was because I'm not a liar, and I kind of lied.
Yeah.
And that's a big time no. And so finally one day she called me, and I didn't know it was her. Hey, how's it going? She goes, hey, it's Lori Grenier. And I'm like, oh, hey, how's it going? Almost like, hey, I was just about to call you.
Oh boy.
And so she asked me, she's like, you must not be too excited about this deal. You didn't call me. And I said, well, Lori, I don't know, man. I don't know what to think about all this stuff. I said, hell, you might be crazy. For that matter, I might be crazy. You might not want to work with me either. So we talked for about 45 minutes, and neither one of us was crazy. I mean, I guess that's debatable, but she seemed like a very nice, normal person, and we met ago, and she still didn't know I didn't want to do the deal. So we had a good lunch and got to know each other, and it was really good. She was cool. She's cool. And then at the end of the lunch, she said, well, we brought the check for $200,000. And I was like, oh. And now I didn't have anything planned at all. And she said, are you telling me that you just did that deal just for TV?
Oh,
A big time no. And she's very blunt. Lori is very blunt and very smart. She's like, you telling me you just did that deal just for TV? And I said, well, I guess what I'm telling you is that I wasn't leaving that room without your phone number. And she goes, I'll never forget. She goes, well played.
Oh, wow.
And so she goes, what is it you want to do? I said, I have no idea. And so we came up with a deal that where basically I don't know if this is the right word, broker, I don't know what you want to call it, but we came up with a deal where I didn't take any money from her, but I did give her a piece of the action for 5 years. And we ended up working together. We did QVC for 5 years straight. If they called me right now, I had to go jump on a plane and be at QVC. We sold millions of dollars worth of
incredible, man.
QVC. And so essentially, that's one thing I want to say about Shark Tank is some people say the deals aren't real because they don't go through. I say the fact that they don't go through is what makes them real, because that's the nature of a deal is, you got to do your due diligence. And it's not, a lot of times deals don't work out. They usually don't work out because of the entrepreneur though.
Yeah.
And so, you know, we ended up partnering just in a different fashion. And the whole story for me was just, I got nothing bad to say about it. Nothing at all. It was all fantastic. She was great. And the whole ride was fun. So
that is incredible, man.
That's the art of the deal right now. You're just saying, I don't really know if I want to do this, and they're like, well, have you thought about it even more? And they're more and more interested. You're constantly pushing them away.
The cool thing about her was that she was willing to talk and listen, and for some reason she believed in this damn beanbag, which, you know, a lot of people might be skeptical of. So good for her. I appreciate that from her.
Wow. Well, Byron, I think that deal and Corduroys has become one of the most successful businesses that's been on Shark Tank.
I think it was number 10. What did I tell you it was? I can't remember.
I can't remember either.
I don't know. We'll call it top 10, top 15, something like that. It's done really well. We definitely went through the roof. I mean, I had a marketing company called. That's the thing about Shark Tank. A lot of things happen that you don't expect. You know, you start getting calls from people, and one of the cold calls I got was from a marketing company out of California, and they basically taught us how to do online marketing, which had never worked for me. When I would throw $100 at it, it wouldn't do anything, so I figured it didn't work. And when they came on board, I challenged them to hit. This is a funny one. I'm in Hawaii on a vacation with my family, and I'm talking to our girl out there, and I said, listen, Megan, if we can do $5,000 a day, you know, we're fishing in the ocean. We're not fishing in a retention pond here. We're fishing in the ocean. If I can catch 5 fish, I can catch 50 fish. So why can't we do 50,000 a day? Like, and she said, okay, well, we're trying to scale up, blah, blah. I don't even know what any of that shit means at this point. So, and so I said, all I know is we're fishing in a big ocean here. We should be able to do more. Well, I'm in Hawaii for 3 weeks, and one day I watched that damn thing go to $50,000, and I'm like, "Oh, this is cool." And then the next day, it goes to $60,000. And now, keep in mind, all this time we got our shit together. We've been in business for 15 years.
Yeah.
So if you say you need bean bags, I can make any amount you need. You're never gonna outdo us. So I thought, and so we hit 60. Long story short, while I'm in Hawaii, we hit 300,000 in a day.
Seriously?
And it doesn't stop.
If you're in the ads manager all day long, you know the problem. Every platform takes credit. Every dashboard tells a different story. Meta says this, TikTok says that. Shopify says I made this much, I spent that much. Sometimes it's hard to know which ad platform is telling the truth. Northbeam fixes this with their own proprietary data. Starting from the actual purchase, rebuilding the customer journey from real orders, real clicks, real verified ad views, and then pushing that measurement back into the ad platform so they optimize on what's actually driving your revenue, not what those platforms assume is driving your revenue. Start measuring what was previously unmeasurable. Go to northbeam.io, book your demo today. Many thanks for Northbeam being part of the show. There's a reason when people make a switch from whatever SMS partner they have a PostScript, they see a plus 22% increase in SMS revenue on average. Now, I didn't see that. I saw a whole lot more. We went from making very little money on SMS to being the top 1% account in their entire platform inside of a year. And the secret is I just did what they said. And what they are saying is that you're leaving money on the table and your customers text you back. Go get the conversation report, direct-to-consumer.co/the conversation report. The good news is PostScript's AI shopper can now have one-to-one conversations with your customers at scale. Many thanks for PostScript being part of the show.
And all of a sudden I'm standing over there answering. That's when I figured out that we had messages coming from 1,000 places, you know, Facebook, Instagram, blah, blah, blah. And I'm over there answering because we don't have anybody doing this. So I'm standing at a convenience store. My wife, are you gonna join us? I'm like, baby, I got shit to do. And it does not stop, man. It just, the floodgates opened and it exposed every hole in our game. I'm talking about from manufacturing to customer service to you name it. It was like I'd never dreamed we could sell too many. And you definitely can. It's definitely important to know your limitations on that. And I tell people that all the time. You better be expecting, because the internet can shock you.
Power of the internet. That's incredible, Byron. I mean, it goes to show like what a tiger by the tail you guys had developed product wise over the years. And then, you know, you bring that to more and more eyeballs, and then you got problems that you didn't know you could have. That's incredible.
Yeah, it definitely was crazy. Oh, by the way, my buddy Ricardo, as he likes to be called.
Yeah, Ricky, he was on the
Ricardo.
show.
Oh yeah, you're so fancy, Ricardo. He told me that I have to say that what was it? He has to say, I'm Byrong Young. I'm with Corduroys, and I make bean bags that convert to beds and other comfort products that will make your home better.
There we go. We'll take it. Ricky knows what he's talking
I'm pretty
about.
sure that's not the way you wanted me to do it.
Well, he knows what he's talking about. Byron, so I mean, give us insight on, like, okay, so you guys you get the incredible deal on Shark Tank.
Yeah.
Man, you're running it up on QVC, and then paid ads and Ecomm D2C just starts going to the moon.
While he's in Hawaii.
While you're in Hawaii.
Yeah,
Not too bad.
Not too bad.
Except it got, I wish I could say it wasn't too bad, but it turned into a lot of stress at that point. Because of all the holes that we just couldn't keep up, and then I was worried that we were sending out bad products because we were in such a rush to get them done. Now I'm like, okay, this is going to work against me now because I'm sending out bad products. So it was great. And for a while, to be honest with you, we could just have a sale on our website and just start counting money. It went on from 2009 until about 2 years ago. It was just shooting fish in a bucket, man. It was just nothing to it. And I never dreamed that it could taper off. And lately, as y'all know, things have just changed. I don't know. I've read stories about Zuckerberg trying to make up for his $100 billion mistake on Metaverse and things like that. I can tell you there must be some truth to it, because whatever happened overnight, and things don't happen overnight in the real world like that.
That's wild. And
so now we're, I'm sure you guys talk about this a lot, but now we're exploring all these new possibilities. Even old possibilities might be new possibilities. I mean, hell, at least a billboard on the side of the road, you don't have to do anything. It works 24 hours a day, and you don't have to worry about it doesn't have an algorithm. And so some of these old ideas might be good too. And now, of course, we got to figure out the whole AI and making sure that we show up in all these new programs. It's exhausting. I tell you, it's exhausting.
The game has definitely complexified a great amount, and I agree with you. I agree with you on the old things becoming new again. One of the things that I'm most bullish on in 2026 is TV. I mean, TV advertising has quite literally become, in some cases, for some of my friends and their brands, has quite literally become 10 times cheaper with targeting. I mean, with location, all of the things. I mean, give us perspective. I mean, you guys are, man, you're riding high, you're building the gaps, manufacturing, all the things. Brother Byron, what do you do when things start tapering off? I mean, how have you guys adjusted to, the new reality that is selling on the internet?
Well, that's when I go, hey, God, I know we haven't spoken in a little while, but I got some important stuff here. It's been a lot of things. We've, like I told you before, the content with me on it typically does well. I was trying to kind of step away from that for a while, and lately, like I told you the other day, that I need to get back in on that, and that's one of the reasons I'm doing this podcast, and I'm going to start filming some content and telling some stories that I have from all these years of doing it. We're focusing on different ways to make sure we show up in all the AI programs. That's another one. And really just focusing on better content. For instance, we did TV before, and we put together some pretty cool commercials, but they weren't great. It wasn't like we put a ton of, we just used content we've had before that we thought was pretty and looked cool. There wasn't like a think tank that went into it to make sure that it was excellent. I always compare everything to fishing. It was like we got on the boat, we went 10 miles offshore, and we got our fishing poles ready, and we threw it out there, and somebody said, "Did you put bait on it?" And we said, "We think so." The commercial, what I call the bait, I don't know that it was great. It performed okay, but we're looking now to do some stuff where we really, really put our heart and soul into the bait, which is the commercial, the content. And really try TV again with something that I want to look at it and go, that shit will work. That'll work. You know what I mean? And so I think if we come up with that content there and try TV again, we'll see different results. Because let's face it, at least on TV, there's no distractions. When when that commercial's on, that commercial's on.
It's on.
Exactly.
It's
so,
true.
Well, there is this silver lining here that you kind of talked a little bit with Chris about, where these pet beds you discovered are a huge home run for you. Could you talk a little bit about this? Because this is kind of a new category you're kind of going into here. Could you talk a little bit about pet beds?
Yeah, our pet beds are, well, I don't know if you can see.
Let's see it.
There
we go. That's a big boy pet bed right there.
That's awesome.
That's our
living the life.
Yeah, that tests them all out. That's Charlie.
That's awesome.
Yeah, the pet beds are something we've had for a while, and real quick, the unique part about our pet beds is, or one of the unique parts, is that first of all, they'll pretty much last forever. A lot of pet bed companies use fabrics they get really cheap, and they really try to go just cheap on them to make some money. We don't. We make them out of the same ingredients, so to speak, as our bean bags, and so you could have this thing for 25 years, and plus you can buy all the parts individually. I remember when we started to make the pet beds, I thought about how I was going to do it. And I remember when my wife would tell me, hey, we need to wash Charlie's dog bed.
Oh, man.
I would always cringe, because I was like, well, what makes me cringe like that? And it was because the zipper was like, this long, and I had to dig out that thing with all the dust and hair all over it. Yeah. And so one of the first things we did is we made the zipper huge so that when you unzip it, you can get the damn liner out without getting, without fighting it. And then of course we ended up making them waterproof top and bottom, which also makes it where the smell doesn't go through. We use the same foam as we do in our regular bean bags. And it's really not that difficult. We just make, at Corduroys, everything starts with the lifetime guarantee. I wish more companies would do this. Like, if you will just start with that, it will force you to make a good product.
It's a great point.
That's what that does. It makes your customer service easy. It makes it where people talk about you. I've got the easiest customer service training in the world here. I say, make them happy. It's not where I don't want to walk in and see my customer service people arguing with people over a damn beanbag.
Yeah.
Let's make them happy.
That's a great point, Byron. And this point that you have brought up on product development and just making a better cup of coffee. I mean, actually putting the thought into, like, how do I make this thing great? And then let's go make our customers happy once they get it.
You don't have to buy an extended warranty. You don't have to buy an extended warranty. Kiss my ass. Are you joking? Are you kidding me? I bought a Jeep. I bought a brand new Jeep for my daughter. The front end has got something called a death wobble. Hey, Jeep, if you're listening, your Jeeps have a death wobble. My daughter is driving a Jeep with a death wobble, but it's not covered by warranty. Like, What in the world? Are you kidding me, man? Like, extended warranty? What? How about just take care of your shit?
Exactly. Not at Corduroys, they're going to take care of you. We know that.
Corduroys, you don't need an extended warranty. We give you a lifetime guarantee. You call us up. If you're not happy, we'll make you happy.
Man, there's a lot of
That's an ad right there. Clip that.
Yeah, there's a lot of takeaways.
Send it out.
And we're going to get all this footage to you, Byron, because I'm convinced there's some great ads just off of having you on screen here already, man.
Yeah. Hey, they'll all be beeped out though. You won't even be able to tell what I'm saying.
That is awesome. Well, amazing. Man, I think there's a lot.
Ask me another question. Come on, Chris. Ask me something.
I think there's a lot to take away from this convo. And I think especially on the product development side, especially on taking care of your customers and also adapting to the internet and how things play as they continue to move forward. And you can teach an old dog new tricks. We've got Byron on screen doing the thing and making some of the best content on the internet, bleeps and all. We love what you're doing, Byron. Man, we appreciate you making the time and coming on the show. We got to have you back and get an update. I'm convinced, just like you were saying about bait. Of course, you got to have the right bait. You got to be in the right spot. Find the right honey hole. But I'm convinced, man. TV, App Lovin', we're average 35-second watch time on your ads.
Yeah.
I'm convinced there's some great spots that are built for higher AOV in this new era of the internet that you guys are going to crush in, man, and
Absolutely.
continue to move forward.
I completely agree.
Yeah, well, I appreciate you guys listening to me yap, man. It's I don't do much of these kind of things, so as you can tell, I'm not too polished.
Oh, you are.
We
You're the
appreciate
best.
it.
You're
We
the
appreciate
best.
it.
Byron,
We appreciate that.
we look forward to coming to Gator Country and meeting you ourselves in person. Until then, we appreciate you making the time and joining us, brother. Thanks, you, man.
Have a good one.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you want to know what's really working right now, not what worked 6 months ago, but what's actually scaling on the market today, TrendTrack gives you full access to the marketing playbook of any brand in the world. From every Meta, Google, TikTok ad they run to every email newsletter they send their customers, your direct competitors, the biggest players on the market, is all there. All the market data centralized in one place, refreshed every 24 hours. Go to trendtrack.io and get hooked up with them today. Know what's actually working on the internet. Many thanks for TrendTrack being part of the show. Your email provider and your tech stack probably only recognizes about a third of your returning shoppers. Everyone else, they're browsing anonymously, and your flows, they're just sit idle. Tie identifies up to 70% of your total site traffic and pushes those shoppers into the flows that you already run. Caraway, as an example, uses Tie's predict scoring to lift opens by 40%, clicks by 30%, while sending 20% fewer emails. Go book a walkthrough. Go to meettie.com/cowboy. When you do, tell them that Colin and I sent you today. Many thanks for Tie being part of the show. We have an infamous ad creator coming into the show right now. Some people would say a little controversial in the ways and things that he creates and has done. A lot of debate happens on the timeline as such, but I will say this: I don't think I've seen anyone making more on point, engaging ads with AI and UGC than this guy has done. We need to bring him in here and talk about his processes and the future of ad creative. Frankie Shaw, FutrGroup, get inside this show, Frankie. Get in here, brother. There he is. All right. Frankie, what's going on, man? Appreciate you making the time, joining us on the show.
Thank you for the invite. I appreciate it.
Absolutely, man. Brother, I will tell you, I have seen your tweets many times. And each time I am like a little more flabbergasted that this was not shot by an actual human, totally created with AI, etc. And I'll say this last one with the hat and the woman and the grandma. And I mean, brother, this was like this was it was an Oscar award-winning ad.
Oscar award. Yeah.
Appreciate it. Thank you very much.
I wouldn't have known if nobody told me like this was made with AI. I wouldn't have known. But before we get into all of it, Frankie, I'd appreciate it if you just give us like some context. Brother, who are you? Where have you? How did you get here in Ecomm? What's your background? Give us a little origin story on Frankie Shaw.
Sure, for sure. So I started my e-commerce journey young. I was 19 years old. I'm 30 now. So I've been in the D2C space for quite some time. I started in the swimwear business. We made a hydrophobic nanotechnology swimwear, which is like shorts that don't get wet. We were on Good Morning America. We got acquired. And then after that, I just decided to just tackle D2C, started drop shipping for a long time. I ran an automation business, but that doesn't scale well. So I decided to get into education because I saw that there was a gap in the market for that. No flashy Lambos, just actually a guy that like did the thing.
There we go.
Happen. So that's pretty much my journey. And throughout the years, I've scaled hundreds of products, first to market with tons of them. The biggest one was probably the Galaxy projector. A lot of the guys in the dropshipping space know me for that.
Yeah. The Galaxy projector. I've definitely seen that. Actually, my daughter, I think it was requesting one.
There you go.
That's the thing that shoots up on the walls, right? Shoots up on the ceiling.
Yeah. So that we were like the first market to bring that. And then with COVID, with the masks, that popped off too. So lots of different products and iterations as any drop shipper would, but always, on to the next. I got into branding, too many SKUs, and now I just focus on education consulting, and I still operate, but mostly through partnerships.
Incredible, man.
Wow.
Thanks,
Talk to us a little bit about some of these ads. I mean, the ad that Chris is talking about with the hat and all of these, I was thoroughly fooled. We reviewed it on the show,
Marvelous, for
and
sure.
I
Mhm.
genuinely, for the first 15 seconds, was like, "This is a great founder ad." Like, I don't know why more people don't make this ad. Can you
Mhm.
talk to us a little bit about how long that process takes? Because Chris alluded to it a little bit, but we wanted to dive into, okay, 0 to finished ad. What am I looking at here?
So for an ad like that, you're probably looking at, with somebody with experience, maybe 45 minutes to an hour. Without any
Wow.
experience, it's going to take you longer because a lot of it is trial and error, right? So
Yeah.
a lot of that is built off of the Kling platform. A lot of guys
Okay.
now are advertising C Dance, but I'm not really
Yeah.
a fan yet. It's great for hooks and for conceptualization of like stuff that can't be made through Kling. It's kind of replacing Sora in a lot of ways. I like to think of it as like the
Yeah.
younger brother. It's not really as strong yet, but
Okay.
hopefully one day it'll get there. But yeah, a lot of it's based off the Kling framework. The founder's method has been around forever, right? Especially in
Yeah.
the UGC space. So that's where I come from. I come from building brands and hiring and teaching people how to make UGC for the brands that I was in partner with. So I just was like, as soon as I got the toolbox to be able to do it myself, I was like, yeah, I'm not going to, focus on UGC creators anymore, because that's kind of a bottleneck that a lot of people don't understand until you're hiring a massive amount of UGC creators. I mean, a lot of my products and stuff that I sell is in the telehealth space. So where am I going to find
Yeah.
a 300-pound woman who knows how to make UGC ads? You know what I mean? It's
Very
very
niche.
difficult to find that, right?
Very
Exactly. So
niche.
instead of sitting there coaching all day, I can go ahead and create one in 30 minutes with a laptop and an internet connection. And as long as it's close enough, it doesn't have to be 100%, but even if it's like 80 to 90%, it works. So that's a lot of how I made that, is just coming from that space, transitioning into AI, and knowing what to look for in the beauty of imperfection, because that's what makes a good ad. It's not the perfect ads, it's the imperfect ads done well.
Oh, I
Interesting.
kind of,
That's
I
a
kind of
bar.
like that principle there. That is
Mhm.
that is a bar. That is a bar.
Yeah,
It's the
thanks.
imperfections done well. Well, I appreciate you kind of opening kimono a little bit there on tools, processes, etc. I have dabbled with Kling. I think that the big question now in the air, Frankie, and I was all in. I was all in, probably 6 months ago. I was
Mhm.
all in on AI UGC to the moon because of the exact things that you're talking about. It's a troublesome task. It's a difficult
Yeah.
process.
Yeah.
It's disjointed, working with humans, etc. And so I think there's been hope in our community for a long time. It's like, well, hey, like maybe this is a way to get really usable footage and tighten my window for making winning ads. But man, there's been so much that has come out now. We had Rob Friend on the show. He actually
Yeah.
was commenting while we were talking about your ad. New York is about to put something out where anytime you use like a person that is, not an actual person, you need to demarket. And it seems to be the case that the more we push forward here, actually, and talking with Rob, like there is no more gray hat when legal gets involved. Once you get into the
Sure.
court system, it's black hat, white hat. It's one way or the other. I mean, how
Mhm.
do you think about that? Because it's now a very important piece of the UGC conversation.
100%. I mean, it poses a question. I'll leave it, up to the people watching. But what makes something more validated? Is it me paying a lady to say something or read a script? Does that make it more authentic? Just because she gets paid to say this, or is it
Ooh.
equally inauthentic, creating AI UGC content as it is paying UGC creators? I mean, we don't have to get into semantics or calling out brands specifically, but a lot of the massive, massive brands that we grew up with, I mean, Coca-Cola's slogan is open happiness, right? I mean, if you want to get into semantics and talk about the background of what brands say and can't say and what it alludes to, I mean, Red Bull was give you wings, and they got into a lawsuit with that, right? So we can sit here and banter on what's acceptable or non-acceptable, but I think it comes down to like individual conscientiousness with what you're creating. And I don't think that founder's method alluded to anything black hat or gray
Sure.
hat. I just think it's a creative process to get people excited about AI UGC and the future of what it holds.
Well, I think this is a fair. I think it's a fair point. I think it's a fair point. Go ahead, Colin.
I was going to say that I think that's a super fair point because there's a ton of brands that basically will product seed out and then just pay for creators. And there's this like, well, what's really the difference here? Like, what's the difference between me generating on my own or having to pay the tax of paying a creator instead? Why can't I just save my business money, make everything in house, and not have to pay the creator? I'd be curious. You mentioned the founder method as one of the frameworks for the ads that you've made. I would love to hear some of the more wild frameworks that you've seen through your time, just like kind of uncovering some stuff. We've gone through ads on the show, and Chris has found some pretty wild ads, but I'm sure you've seen some crazy stuff. I've seen some crazy stuff. I would love to hear your take on a few.
I mean, I'll tell you guys, my best ads are backed by NDAs for a lot of the brands that I work with, right? So the stuff that I'm showing on X are kind of like not throwaways, but it's just showcasing utility stuff
wild
behind the scenes. But I mean, and this kind of alludes to what Rob was talking about with black hat and white hat and how there's no gray hat, right? Like with the tools that we currently have, if you wanted to make black hat content, you can make extremely black hat content. And it's not like, you know, everybody throws flack at the Brazilians for the deep fakes and stuff like that in the VSL space. But with the tools that we have, it comes down to individuality. And, you know, if you want to make stuff that is black hat, you can. But I don't think that anything that I make even crosses over that barrier. And every time I mean, my level of consulting is asking ChatGPT, is this legal or is this not legal? I'm not going to lie and say I have a team of lawyers or anything like that, but I'm always trying to stay above board and on the fence of acceptable ad policies. And I trust Meta's ad policy to determine if I'm making content that's good for their platform or not. So that's really what I base it on. If it gets approved on Meta, then to me, I feel like I'm operating within the guidelines.
All right. Okay.
That's fair.
Your CX team is buried in repeat tickets that are costing you money. Rich Panel is the AI help desk that fixes this massive headache and automates 70 to 80% of your interactions. You're only responsible for the exceptions. Your team of Rich Panel AI agents has got you on the rest end to end. If you're paying humans $2 to $10 per ticket, you need to see what 30 cents feels like. Ridge did this, cut their cost per ticket by 70%, save $500,000, and 50% autonomous resolution in 30 days guaranteed, or your money back. Go to richpanel.com, book your demo today. Many thanks for Rich Panel being part of the show. If you're getting 5,000 orders a month and you can sprinkle in $3 to $4 extra on each one of those without touching your ads, wouldn't that be nice? Yeah, it would. That's what brands like Olakai, Cozy Earth, Groove Life are doing with Rocked After Sale every single day by adding post-purchase upsells and downsells from the cart through the thank you page, and then stacking an extra 30 to 50 cents just by showing offers from Disney Plus, HelloFresh, Venmo, etc. It's high margin revenue straight to your bottom line. You can be live in minutes. Go to aftersale.com/offers. Truly a no-brainer. Many thanks for Rocked After Sale being part of the show. I would say, man, gosh, especially since Rob, especially since that conversation with Rob. I mean, let me say this. I kind of feel like if you get called in to talk to the FTC, like there's going to be something with everybody that they can dig up. You know, I mean, even like discounts. You know, you can only like have a strike through for a certain amount of time, and now there's a rule like, you know, if you left that up for 60 days, you got to take it back down for a certain period of time. I mean, in some ways, I think that, you know, we all get, anybody that gets called in, like there's going to be something that gets dug up. But I think his like basic point is, if it's not an actual person and it can if it can mislead, then you're in trouble, you know.
100%. I think you need guys like him too, you know.
Well, he brings a very special portion to the timeline.
I do. I think you need guys like that for sure.
Since then I have just been, man, I've shied away from like creating people, you know, with AI inside of ads at all. But I don't know. I think that, you know, the hashtag ad, you know, all of the things, all of the demarcations, all of the things that you can say to protect yourself, I think are worthwhile. But what you're doing with the creative is truly outstanding. I mean, give me your perspective on this, Frankie, as you've been in this 10 plus years. brand founder, consultant, etc. I mean, what do you think Ecomm looks like over the next 12, 18 months? How do you think things continue to evolve, the tools and the capabilities expanding as they are? What do you think this next era of e-commerce looks like?
Yeah, I like that question. I think it'll be more mass adaptation of AI. We're already seeing it. I mean, if you go on Facebook Ads Manager, I'd say now maybe 50% of the ads are AI, at least not for for video, but for statics. I mean, if you're not
Statics.
making AI statics, everybody's using AI statics.
Yeah.
So I think mass adaptation will come for video as well. I think right now the bottleneck is skill. And once that skill sort of, solidifies itself a little bit more and people get better, then we'll start to see better ads as well. And then, we won't have issues that Rob mentions where a lot of people are like on the cusp of black hat. I think right now that's a temporary problem because of the limited tools that we have to use with AI. So we're kind of pushing the boundaries a little bit and seeing how far we can get away with, or how much we can get away with right now. But once the claws come out and they start peeling back a lot of the stuff that's acceptable or not acceptable, whether that's the FTC or Meta putting in new policies, then I think that'll sort of shine more light on the AI UGC space, and there'll be more proponents talking about its benefits rather than like it misleading people, which isn't the intention. The intention is to just put more creativity in the user's hands and remove these like fake TikTok shop creators that get paid $700 to make a video, and which is nothing wrong with it, but it's just, I don't want to wait 3 weeks for that. I want to make the content now, test it, see the CPC, see the CTR, and go from there. And I think that speed is something that can't be beat. And that's what I think. So I think more mass adaptation for AI UGC once the skill gap gets bridged, and that's what I'm trying to do in the space.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I wonder. I wonder if there's going to be like a big kibosh at some point. I mean, like you're bringing up. I mean, one would think at some point there's going to be a big kibosh that probably makes the path forward more clear for everyone inside of our space. I mean, that makes sense to me. Go ahead, Colin.
Well, I was going to say, I think that big kibosh might potentially be the Medvi guys, where they kind of got,
by the way.
Yeah,
I mean, they're incredible operators. They are incredible operators.
Yeah. I found some more interesting stuff about them as well. They've ran a 60-person agency before Medvi. So really? they had these media buying skills. It wasn't just a guy that popped up and was like, "Hey, what's up? I'm a $1 billion company." I dove into it a little bit more. Are you seeing some really good formats other than that founder ad that you talked about? Because I think I would love to peel back the onion a little more. If you could jump into maybe one of the formats that you're talking about with your consulting clients, where you're saying like, "Hey, this is some sauce right now. This is some tea. This is some sauce for the show itself." Do you have one where you're super bullish on it right now? It might not last forever, but for the next month or 2 months, it's really good right now.
For sure. I mean, a lot of the telehealth brands that I work with are all running the same sort of formula ad, right? And it's like a transformation that's realistic and not unrealistic. So the reason why is like, okay, if you're running like tirzepatide at a low dose, right, 2.5 or something like that, you're going to lose, 30 to 40 pounds over 6 months. So the before and afters need to be, and this is a little trick for the show as well. Facebook ad compliance before and after, like split screens and stuff like that, they don't like. But if you're showcasing progress slowly, it's very hard for the ad platform to sort of determine what you're showcasing, because it might just determine it's a different person, right? So showcasing like lifestyle events, like birthdays, party celebrations, photos, snapshots, travel, and the person is visibly losing weight throughout that journey, and then at the end, sort of hitting it with thank you for this, with a little handwritten note next to a animated video of a tirzepatide bottle. That's working incredibly well, and that's as much as I could probably leak.
Sauce,
certified sauce on the show.
Certified sauce.
Yeah.
Certified sauce on the show. That's a good point, Frankie. That's a
Slow.
good point.
Do it slow. That's the trick.
So when you're saying those transformations, are you talking about you're making a video and that's the actual transformation itself? Or are you talking about
Or a
multiple photos?
carousel.
Or is it a carousel?
No, so it's visual, so it's a video.
Yeah.
But the way that we do it is like we
Yeah.
take an AI model. Let's use an example: a woman over 55, right? She starts at 250 pounds, and then by the end frame, she's 190 pounds. Right. So for a lot of people, that's a realistic result. It's not false advertising because tirzepatide has been proven to do this. And it's storytelling. So you're showcasing a woman's journey rather than having to hire a UGC creator and say, hey, take this and film yourself for 6 months. You know what I mean? We could do it in 25 minutes. And then,
Oh my gosh,
different archetypes work. So if you're targeting African-American, Hispanic, Caucasian, you see what works better, hairstyles, stuff like that. And you just iterate on that. So that's what we're noticing is working right now. And it's just, I can make 100 ad creatives for that in a week and a half. So
it reminds me, you're just back there customizing your player like in Madden, just adding bars up and down, making the perfect Madden player. I love this so much. That's amazing.
Okay,
yeah, it's a lot of fun.
Frankie, okay, speak to this too, because many voices on the timeline, I think that our cut 30 brethren would be they'd be a little more inclined to say, hey man, at the end of the day, an actual human that knows what they're doing and is comfortable on camera, cut it up, like that's going to be the biggest win. If you can find that, do that, create that. I mean, what would you say? What would you say to that, kind of voice in the community? Would you say, well, that's a skill gap, or, is not there yet? Or, what would you say?
We have the data in the ad platforms, right? So a lot of these telehealth companies can look at my ads and look at ads that they've been running with real creators, and they go toe to toe. So it's not like, we launch an AI, and that's what you're noticing with like C-Dance or something like that. You launch a C-Dance ad, you're getting $300 CPMs. You launch one of my ads using 5.1, and, you're seeing competitive CPMs with real content, arguably better. So we have the data. It's just a matter of, obviously, if you're not like, I don't want to brag, but if you're not me and you're making ads like this, are you going to have the same results? No, 100% not. I've been in the space for 11 years. I know what to look for, and I know what works, and I also have the budget to do it with these telehealth companies. But without that, I think obviously a real creator is going to be better than an AI creator, but it's only a matter of time. And right now for me, it's not better, but for the average person, it might be. Give it 4 or 5 months. Let's see what the AI education space looks like at that point and how mass adaptation takes place, and then check the ad accounts later. And, we'll see more people killing it with AI ads for sure. Especially
bold takes from Frankie Shaw. Man, hey, we appreciate you making the time and coming on the show, man, and dropping sauce for us, brother. Man, tell people they want to find you, they want to learn from you, they want to talk to you. Man, where do they go? Where do they find you? How can they get in touch with you on the interwebs?
Appreciate it. Right here on X, Frankie Ecomm, and then Frankie Shaw, SHAW on Instagram. Appreciate it. Thank you guys for hosting. This is like the ESPN for D2C stuff. I feel underdressed. You guys are killing it. Thank you so much.
Frankie, man, we appreciate you coming on. Appreciate what you're doing, and we're going to be following and learning more. Thank you for coming, brother.
Take care. Ciao, guys.
What is the next big idea that could change your business? Is it a price change, adding subscriptions, maybe a new bundle, strategy, or an app? Discovering and testing those high growth opportunities is exactly why Intelligence exists. It's an AI-powered testing platform, helps you find the changes worth making. If you're looking for your next big idea, they have you covered. Go to intelligence.io/audit. In just a few minutes, you're going to have 3 ideas that you can test today. Totally free, AI-powered audit. Go talk with Intelligence. Get the next new big idea for your business.